That. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Minor Solutions Podcast. This has been the long-awaited podcast that we have been preparing for, and our schedules just didn't align. And we are here at the Impressions Show in Long Beach, California, not Los Angeles, but we're in Long Beach, California, and we are here. And a lady print boss had an amazing showcase in which she actually did, in which I got a chance to be here to support her with. And she talked about several great topics. Maybe she can elaborate on those. But we are going to go ahead and talk about the lady print boss. She is a phenomenal woman who is always giving back to the community and trying to enhance the empowerment of women and giving them a platform to be heard and to be seen and to know, hey, you can do this job. So we are grateful to have her here. We are grateful for her influence on us being empowered and empowering others. And we want to hear what she has to say today. So y'all, welcome to the Lady Print Boss.
Hey y'all. Thanks for having me. I surely do appreciate you. Guys, I started Lady Print Boss Consulting to help women, mainly women of color, to help women get started in the business or to help them figure out where they needed to go, to help them figure out their process. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that today and some other things. I'm interested in hearing what Mel has for me.
Yes, she's a phenomenal speaker. We got a chance to see that, and guys, if you ever get a chance to go and check out the Ink Kitchen, she and several other ladies on the panel, they had a packed house of women and men at this show. And guys, let me tell you, you will not be disappointed. It was really a great thing to be there in the place itself, to really embrace and embark upon that. So you guys really check that out. Shop Talk Ink Kitchen. I'm sure it'll come out here soon. We don't have the footage. They have that exclusive rights to those footage, so we'll wait till that comes out. So we're going to get right into our show, and we're going to ask some questions that are going to be analytical and critical towards business.
Okay.
I'm
ready.
All right. So we know you've been in the business for many years. You've always told us where you started, how you started. So we don't want any of that background stuff.
Okay.
We want some technical and things that can help us.
Sorry, could you say that again?
I'm sorry, Siri's trying to jump in here. We want something that is going to be, beneficial for us. So since there has been such a boom of AI in the industry, and there has been so many different ways to obtain graphics and art and ways to get the actual job done, what recent technology that has been out there that can be used in screen printing, and how will it impact the business operations or its output?
Okay, so as far as from my viewpoint, I can tell you guys how I use AI, how I've used it in my business so far, some of the things that I'm doing, and then I can talk also about some of the things that I'm seeing as far as AI tools, as far as software, or as far as bringing that AI automation into equipment even. So as far as AI and graphics software, you now see Adobe bringing in the AI tools.
Okay.
You're seeing in their graphics suite, CorelDRAW has also now implemented AI in their suite, and then you're also seeing a lot of the design software that's implementing AI into the design software. As far as my business goes, I have not really dabbled too much on the designing aspect. I have used DALL-E, which is a part of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a open AI software source that is from a company called OpenAI, and you can anyone can get a ChatGPT account at this time. If you wanted to do images, then images are going to cost you, I believe it's $20 a month now, and that may change. So I've recently I started out using ChatGPT 3, which was just to do things like to help me in the business on the administrative side, which has sped me up tremendously. On no longer do I have to sit there and curate an email. I still create the email, but I can just tell it the outline of what I want it to do. It's going to format it, and it's going to put it in it's going to set the structure of the email to whatever tone you want. It's going to just make your emails a lot more professional. It's going to make you more efficient. You can use those emails as templates. Lately, I've been able to actually tell ChatGPT to download things for me. So I use it a lot as far as creating ads and things like that that used to take me days to do. As far as the graphic designing aspect of it, I am able to create pictures, although I'm not able to with DALL-E, which is a part of ChatGPT, the paid version. You can create the photos. You do have to give it the prompts. And when people say prompts, I think it confuses a lot of people. Right? Because you think that I have to tell it to say this specific thing. And I may say something broad like, I'd like to let's create a cheerleading logo with the capital C and a pom-pom or something like that. And it will actually give it to you. Now you do have to play around with it. I was able to create an SVG file from ChatGPT and DALL-E the other day, which if you're able to create an SVG file, then you are able to screen print that file, use that file for color separations. It's ready to go. You can use it on your cutter to cut things out. So the innovation is coming. It's not all the way there yet, because if I have a customer that wants something specific, it's not going to give you that specific thing that you're asking for exactly like how you want it in whatever image it gives you. You cannot edit it in DALL-E. You can't say, okay, well, I like that, but change this. You can't do that. So then you have to go and put it in a program like CorelDRAW or Adobe Illustrator and do your editing.
Well, that brings up a great point. Could you walk us through your creative process and when you're taking a new design project on, and how does that flow for you?
Okay, so quite frankly, right, I don't get a lot of people who I have to design for anymore. And that changed with me going into the corporate world. When I was doing a lot of reunions, or if I'm doing a smaller business or something like that, they don't have a design department. So then you do have to create. So a lot of things that I create, those are going to be things that I'm going to be creating for myself, or it may be that I have a customer that's just getting into the business and they need to create a logo. So let's say, for example, if a customer came to me and they said, hey, LaTona, I want you to create a logo. The first thing I want to know is I want to know what is there. I have to try to get out of that person's brain into my brain what it is that they want, right? And what I think and what you think is that you want is not always the same. So it's a matter of, I like to tell people, send me pictures of things that you see that you like so I can get a style for their field. Are they looking for like a hip hop logo? Are they looking for something modern, something simple. What do they like, and then once I kind of figure out what they like, then that's when I go into creating the logo. And I am a person, I'll look at different things that people have created online, and then I will draw from it, but I won't copy it. I'll draw from it, and then the thing that you have to do in the way that you make sure that you're not copying somebody's work is you look at different things, right? And then you close it out. You get the elements that you need, and then you close it out and you take it from there. Because otherwise, if you're just constantly looking at that logo, then you're going to end up creating something that's going to be super, super close. The other thing is that I look at is, what is the person using the logo for? And this is what a lot of people do not tell their customers. When you create a logo for someone, right, it needs to be printable. So a lot of times I'll have a customer, let's say you have a customer and they want to create a logo, and they're very colorful because, as Black people, we're very colorful. And sometimes color can affect your brand. What I mean is the number of colors that you have to print. You may get a really colorful logo, and then it's like, okay, now I need to make business cards, or I need to create a screen printed t-shirt out of that, and that logo has 10 colors in it. If somebody wants to, if you get a sponsorship deal, and they're going to put your logo on the back of a shirt, right? If that logo's 10 colors, how's that going to work with other logos? So most companies only do 2-3 colors. You have to think about that. I think about the color palette, what colors will go with what, and how is this color going to look on this brand of shirt, because each type of fabric that you're using, your colors could have a shift. So I may be doing a blue on a baby blue, and it's going to have a different shift. Each ink soaks into fabric differently, so you have to take that into account, because you may get a subdued blue and you want a much brighter blue.
Okay. Well, you've been in the business for, I think you told me, like 20 some odd years, correct? So you've had staying power in this business as a woman. What were your biggest challenges you faced when starting your screen printing business, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Just knowing where to start at. Trying to figure out when I first started the business, I started out, I already had a boutique, so I was already actually a business. And I had been in that business for a few years, selling apparel. When I got to the point where I wanted to do t-shirts, I ended up getting a heat press, because everybody knew what a heat press was at that time, and transfers were popular, but I didn't know what screen printing was. And I just so happened that the people next to me, they were still in my designs, and somebody called me and told me. Yeah, somebody called me and told me, girl, your stuff is out on Harry Hines. And so I went out there and I looked.
Oh, wow.
And I saw all of my stuff all over there, all over the place. And then what we would call viral today, my shirts went viral all over town, and
Wow.
I wasn't making $1. And so I didn't say anything. I just kind of eased around, and I was looking, and there was a little corridor, and I seen the screen printing machine. And so I started asking questions, and then I knew that was what I needed to be able to compete, because where I was making 25 shirts, they were making hundreds. And I started researching and got a screen printing press, and from there I had to teach myself how to screen print, because when I would go around to shops, And there was only a couple of shops in Dallas. I would go around the shops and ask questions. If they, hey, I bought a screen printing press, I'm having some issues. Even when I would ask to pay, and say, hey, can I pay you to help me learn this, to show me this? It was
And
no.
how did that go? They said
No.
What?
No, it was
They
not
did, even with you offering to pay.
No, it was not
Wow.
it was not a welcoming industry at that time. Let's say, for being a woman, or for even being a black woman, and getting into screen printing, it wasn't very welcoming, and it was at that point. People had, it's like you're coming into business, and people look at me as a competitor, a potential competitor, that could be, end up getting part of their income, messing with their livelihood. So people were not friendly. And they were not trying to let you in the door. So I had to learn. I went to the one of the instructors at the college that I went to, and she showed me a book and told me, you did a book report on this in school, you don't remember? And she said, hey, go and get your own copy. And that was Scott Freshner's book on how to make t-shirts. And so I did that, and I read that book, and I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced until I knew that I could make shirts good enough to sell. I would go to Walmart, and I would buy the t-shirts, those graphic tees that they have at Walmart. They used to be like $5.
Yeah.
I would go in there and I would buy those shirts, and I would print it until I got good enough to where I was better. My prints looked better than those shirts.
Well, when you did that and you made a way for yourself, that was you opening the door to an industry that will allow you to be where you are today. So with you doing that, what advice would you give entrepreneurs today trying to get in this business, be it woman or other? What advice would you give them to get in this business and get into the industry and get started?
Okay, good question. So here in 2024, if you're starting a business now, you don't have to go through a lot of the things that I went through. You don't have to self-teach yourself. You don't have to struggle to find the right equipment, or to find people who are out here to help you. That's why I started Lady Print Boss, to be a beacon, a light to people who were trying to get started. So what I would tell you to do is to figure out, is this business for you first? Figure out what it is that you want to do. If there's if you see a certain style of shirt and you're like, oh, that's what I want to do, figure out what you want to specialize in. And then figure out who's buying it. And then you have to figure out who is going to be your customer. What's your ideal customer? Or who's your ideal customer? And then after you figure all of that stuff out, how much time you have to spend to dedicate. Because if you think you're just going to do, jump into grab a heat press and start pressing shirts, you can, but you're not going to have a lot of, there's not a big learning curve with heat pressing, right?
Right.
However, the learning curve comes in how to sell the merchandise, what to sell it for, who you should be selling it for. So if you don't know those things, or how to price it, So it's a lot of the back end stuff versus the just learning the process of printing.
Right.
And knowing you can save yourself a lot of time because you figure out what is the best process for you. You do that by going to shows like this, by picking up the phone, by calling people like me, by doing research, looking at different things, and not just buying things because you see it and you see someone else with it, because that process works for them and they may not work for me. You know, as in like with the situation right now with me and DTF, and we were at the show, and I talked to a guy, and I'm looking at a DTF printer, and the printer was printing 15 minutes. You got to ask the right questions with equipment. Well, how long does it take for this equipment? How long does it take to print this shirt, to print this film? And the guy said 15 minutes. Okay. So it's going to take 15 minutes to print it. So 15 times 4, I could print 4 shirts in an hour, and then I just have to transfer.
But you still haven't even put it on a shirt.
You haven't even put it on a shirt.
So, yeah, people don't take a lot of that into consideration.
So then another question I asked was, what was the maintenance going to be like? And then he said, well, you have to maintain it every day. And then the question that you asked about the humidity. Things like that will make you say, okay, I knew that, okay, this isn't the machine for me. I'm in Texas. I'm working out of a garage. It gets hot. I can't keep this humidity here. This machine is too slow. What's the next step? So then you go and you try and you do that process of elimination till you start figuring out, okay, if I have this is what I can do.
So with you being at the show, we're glad we brought the show in. Now we can talk about the show. How was your experience being up on that stage? How did it feel seeing all those women there and wanting to know more about women in the industry and their experiences that they had? How did that make you feel seeing that crowd there, you know, just to be supportive, to know that, hey, we want to know if anyone else is going through what we go through in this industry?
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was a great panel. It was a great panel. It was awesome being there. It was more so awesome seeing so many women that look like me. Seeing more women that look like me. And you know, I've come to the shows forever. So seeing women has been something I've always seen. But to be able to talk about, and we hit the surface of a lot of things, to be able to talk about different things that women face in the industry and things that you go through, you know, that was awesome. But being able to be, it was awesome for me to just be there and to see that even my reach, like the little things that I do, because, you know, just the little things that I do, being able to meet people and they say, hey, I know you, and you did this for me, and I saw you do that, and you know, I'm here for you. Just to know that you in Texas and all the way in California, you have that reach. And that's women being and men, because there were a lot of men that was there. Women and men, to where when you come down after talking, because I talk all the time, so it's nothing special for me to talk, but to have people be interactive and to be able to, because that's what I do it for. It's for the people, not for the shows. It's for the people. To be able to make an impact or to tell a person the question, to answer the questions that they're trying to find out. Because a lot of times you're walking around and you just saying, because it's so much stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
So much stuff.
It's a lot. If you've never been to an in-person show, it is. If you're gonna intake a lot, and it's gonna take probably the whole 3 days to go through everything at that show. Unless you got specific areas you're going to go hit, and that's it. It's gonna be a lot of things to impact.
This show was large. It was a
lot.
Probably 5 times the size of
the one
show
in Texas.
Yeah,
it was big. It was big. And we didn't go over the whole floor. I mean, I literally, I could not. It was just
Yeah.
too much. It was just too much.
And I definitely didn't. I wanted to though. I did. There was a lot to see.
It was a lot.
A lot to see. So I can see like a person that's new in the industry.
It's be overwhelming.
When they come in, it's like,
It's a
because
lot.
people were asking, well, simple things like, what's the difference between a distributor? What's the difference between a manufacturer? You're a printer, but
Yeah.
you're making the shirt. So
Yeah.
how are you not a manufacturer? Things
Yeah.
like that. And how do
Yeah.
I do this and how do I do that? And so people have a lot of questions, and that's what shows are about. And it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
I think we should do a go over process of maybe with everybody on the live, maybe just to kind of give them an opportunity to kind of hear our experience of everything.
Yeah,
That we actually, I
yeah,
think that'd be a
yeah.
great thing for
That
us to
would be
do.
cool.
So we'll come back to that, and we'll do that for you guys. We'll do a processing of everything on that. Let me ask something. You know, you've been in the industry. We talked about that. You've been in the industry and consult with women, men, and everyone that wants to get into this industry. How has it changed from when you started to where we are now? And what do you foresee it going towards?
Okay, so as far as the consulting part, or as far as the industry itself?
The industry itself. You know, we started off, you know, back in the day, you started off doing heat pressing, you went to screen printing. Now we have sublimation, we have
The processes,
all
yeah.
the different processes.
Right.
We've evolved so broadly
Right.
into so many different ways to get to the same end result.
Yeah.
That, you know, then we got now AI, and
Right.
you know, it's just continually
Yeah.
evolving.
Right.
So where do you see us possibly in 20 years?
Oh wow, wow.
I mean, because we're
So
at this point of
if-
almost the Jetsons.
I don't even see. I don't even think it's going to take 20 years before we see big changes in the industry. So let me kind of go back a little bit. I did start with heat press and vinyl. I see vinyl becoming obsolete. And the only thing that people really need vinyl for nowadays is for specialty things. Like, let's say for maybe your puffs, your glitters, doing names, doing numbers, things that are personalize it when you need to personalize something. I don't really see a lot of, and you can actually tell it from looking at the heat press companies at what they're bringing to the table now, right? A lot of the heat press
specific things.
companies, you're seeing different types of specialty materials, like the brick and the different things, versus seeing regular types of materials, right, for you to do heat pressing, because now you're in a digital age to where you can buy printable vinyl. You can, so I see vinyl kind of going out the door.
Okay.
As far as heat press things, and when I say heat press or digital printing, I mean inkjet printing, sublimation printing, DTF printing, anything that you're heat pressing, right? As far as that type of printing, it has evolved. It has evolved to where you can now print a full color design on a shirt, on a black shirt, whereas that has always been the issue that I had in my business for many years. How do you print a full color design on a black shirt without having that big ugly, y'all know that big ugly square
Yes.
around it? So now you have the DTF transfers that are out. I think that they have a long way to go.
Right.
I don't think that it's going to run screen printers out of business. I think it's just another tool
Okay.
that can be used for doing mainly, smaller things. Because this is the thing, most screen printers, if you look at a screen printer and what you're doing, right? If you're working on a manual, you're doing, most of your bread and butter jobs are going to be 1, 2 color designs, 3 color designs, right? you may do up to 6 colors. But let's say when you get up to automatic screen printing shops, they're printing all those colors at the same time. So it doesn't matter if it's 10 colors. We're printing them all at the same time. We're printing them much cheaper than what the digital age is. The more we print, because it's all about production, the cost goes down. With the digital printing, the cost is still staying the same.
Or going up.
The cost of screen printing is cheaper. The cost of digital printing is here. So screen printing not going to go anywhere. Not only that, the longevity of the screen prints, the feel of the screen printing, the population, and it depends on your consumer. Who's the end consumer? Are they wanting, that shirt? So it depends on what it's being used for. There's the market for it, just like there's a market for screen print, a big market, but it's all about what are you doing? Are you doing tourist shirts? Are you doing event shirts? Is this for a concert? Is it for something that's just for a birthday? It's only going to be worn a few times, or it's going to be, you're doing just a few shirts, or are you doing a lot of shirts? So you have to look at that type of stuff. And then space. How much space you need?
What do you, just going back, okay, we know these changes are happening. We know, the industry is, it's always evolving and changing. And, we have a lot of, pieces going on right now. What do you see that's going to be going on next for the Lady Print Boss?
Next for me, I don't know. I don't know. What you're going to see is less printing. I believe I'm on the end. I'm moving towards the end of the career, right? Because screen printing is not something that you want to do all of your life, right? It's something that you do for so long, and then you may have injuries. Like I've had the shoulder injury, and you see, okay, you transition into whatever. So it could be that your business, as your business grows, because the thing with being self-employed is you have to be your own 401k.
Right.
So you have to figure out, as in the beginning, you got all your health, you got all your strength. Okay, how much longer can I do this? Do we bring back in automatic and start doing that? Do we bring in people to help? What do we do? But for me, within the last 4 years, you can already see that I've made a big change. From working a lot to now saying, okay, well, 25% of my time is going to be working on actual printing, and 25 over here and 25 over here, and then so you're going to see me doing less printing, which does not mean less money. It means more money. Focusing on making more money. Maybe possibly outsourcing things that I cannot do in-house. Focusing more on events, but the main thing is focusing on me and my clothing line.
That's
things
so
that because I never wanted to actually print for other businesses. That was a means to an end.
Yeah.
Something for me to make money at the time, take care of my kids. But it was always, okay, I'm going to get back to me. I'm going to get back to luxury designs, and then it never, you get caught up in the money.
Yes.
You get caught up in the money, and when it comes, fast. And that's the thing about, and that's why I chose screen printing, because I knew that, okay, I want customers who are going to spend this kind of money and X amount of dollars and one order that can pay your bill for a month, and versus
onesie twosies,
a lot of things, and me dealing, because then when you get a lot of orders, it's not only that you're doing a lot of different things, you got to look at the production of okay, it take time to design this, to design that, design this. I got to do this way, do this that way. When you're doing with screen printing, like what I do is like you got this one design, you're gonna knock all this off, and you run with it. And so that's what really made me stay with screen printing so long.
So you talked about you possibly just pulling back from screen printing and doing other things. Would that be possibly like sales, marketing, and or consulting, or what specifically those other things look like? You know, those other 75%.
You know, we've started back classes, back training.
Okay.
Back training, thinking about whether I'm going to start back doing the Corel Draw classes. I've got some things on, some things going on with that. Okay. Started classes last year back, the first time after COVID, did a few classes. So I'm going to definitely be getting back into more so into that technical training space. It's just that now I don't know, the atmosphere has shifted. After COVID, with so many people getting into it and the world kind of changing to the school of YouTube University, and people not putting a lot of, I don't think that people realize the difference that consultants can make in their business anymore. A lot of people think, oh, I can just run and go and learn this on YouTube, but I can do this. They don't realize how much time it can cut down off of your journey. I tell people, it shouldn't take you 25 years to get where I'm at. It should take you 6 months, a year, 2 years.
Because there's a lot out there.
To be able to get it, because it's a lot of information. It's a lot of help out there now. It's a lot of, new equipment and new processes, but you can get caught up in it. You can get caught up in it, and you can lose your everything in it by making the wrong move. And you have to know with industry trends, where are things going. You asked me earlier, and I did not really finish the answer on it, but when you look at DTF, right? DTF started out at about $20 a transfer. Now it's down to about $4 or $6 a transfer. And people think that, DTF solves all the problems. It don't.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. No. The majority of companies in the industry, they're not doing full color. They don't like the feel. So screen printing is still going to be there. Then you have to look at the fact that you have these huge machines that can do hybrid printing, which is a mix of a screen printed white underbase and then the color on top. It doesn't clog, and it's able to do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So you may have a 10-color machine with a digital head on it, and you're able to knock out 700-800 shirts an hour printed, not transfers.
Right.
And it's printed and it's done, and it's done, completely done. So a lot of people say that screen printing is going to be dead. It's not. I see a lot of automation.
A lot of automation, man.
You want to talk on the t-shirt thing that put the bags, the folded the t-shirts, took it down the line, put it in the bag.
We gotta talk. We saw something so amazing that we had to literally just walk down the line and see it for ourselves, how it actually came out. It was a very, very unique machine, but we'll talk about that on our thing together, because that's a lot of things we saw. There was new innovations that are coming, so I don't want to go into that, but I do want to get back to you, the Lady Print Boss. I know, you may have mentioned this before, but how did you come up with the name Lady Print Boss?
Well, I'm a lady, first of all.
Phenomenally.
And I'm a boss, and I print. So I mean, it wasn't a hard. I wanted a name that was empowering.
Yes.
That a name that was strong enough for me, right? Because I'm such a strong person, and so it was just a collaboration of that, and it was a lot that went into the thought of the name. Okay, is Lady Print Boss, is that too strong? It's a statement, right? And it's not about me being the Lady Print Boss. This is a lot of Lady Print Bosses and bringing in women bosses right out there. And so when you're trying to establish who you are as a brand, right? You have to, my daddy always told me, you got to be the best. You got to think that you're the best. You got to put forth the best. So it was purposeful to have a strong name that is like, I am the Lady Print Boss. So come forward.
Do you think that this landed you in your purpose?
I don't know. I think that God gave me a gift. If you believe in a higher power, I think that He gave me a gift, and it's my give back. I don't think that. I think it's a part of my purpose, but I think that there's a long way to go on this journey. I think He has some great and amazing things. I don't think I've reached that purpose yet. I have not fulfilled it. It's coming to light from what you see different women, and I'm even, and Lady Print Boss is just about women, empowering women. It's about empowering all people, and specifically, championing diversity and inclusion. So I'm actually training a teenage guy that I'm taking under my wing this year, that I'm training, and I'm going to mentor him. And I just saw something in him that he wanted to learn how to do this. And I think that anyone he's got a single mom, and he's got a little sister at home, and he wants to learn how to screen print. And so, anyone should be given that chance to excel. And so that's what I'm going to do for it.
I'm sure we'll have some more amazing things coming from you in 2024. It already has started off phenomenally in Long Beach, and you have a lot more in stake, I'm sure, coming up. This first quarter is your seed planting mode. I know you already is planting those seeds out there, getting them ready for fruitation to show up in spring and come on to life. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you out there on the circuit doing some phenomenal things. So is there anything that you would like us to know more about the Lady Print Boss?
Well, I'm just about empowering women and championing women, just helping women to grow. I'm an open book, and at the same time, I tell people at the end of the day, anyone that can help you, right? I may be good at what I do, but at the end of the day, you have to believe in you, because only a person can tell you do this, 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 and this, and then come back and see me, and then do this, and then do this, and you have to do the steps. You have to want it. It's not for everybody. You have to want it, and I wanted it for a very, very long time. It was like go, 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 go. And now that I've gotten older, I'm in a slower mode. I still got that hustle, but this is my season for me to sit back, relax. I don't believe in working like as hard as I used to, but Yeah, it's you have to, this business is what you make of it, Mel. It's what you make of it. And you can make millions of dollars. And I tell people, people think that you have to have a big building or you have to do this. At times when I was bringing in close to $500,000 a year, I was bringing home $100,000.
They don't realize that. I don't think people
And
understand that.
being at home, doing half the work, being able to go into my office in my pajamas, I can make more money, bring home more money at the end of the year, not having the sales number of the $500,000, right? But your income at the end of the day, when you make it over that 100,000, and bringing that home, your gross is what it's about, bringing that into the house, and I don't have to deal with all of that anymore. So I don't know if I'll ever I don't have the aspirations to have a big screen print shop anymore. And that's just for me, but for those of you who own it, it's reachable. It's very reachable.
It's obtainable.
Yeah.
Well, we are blessed that you came on our show and gave us the opportunity. You are my mentor, and I only had one other, and I specifically told you that when I met you. I've only had one other mentor, and that was Angela Janice Bina, and I actually saw her at this show.
And I didn't get to meet.
She had to go somewhere else, so she didn't get to meet her. So I spoke with her, and I told her, I said, I'm here with my other mentor. She said, what? I said, yeah, I'm here with my other mentor. So she's like, she said, oh, okay, I thought she was coming by. I said, she probably will come by. We'll come by later, but we didn't get a chance to go back over there.
Go by.
So maybe that'll happen another time.
Yeah.
But, I told you, I don't follow a lot of people because if I don't see you being truthful and real, and that's what attracted me to you. And I'm all about, people doing what they say and say what they mean and following through. Right. And you have been that time and time again, and you've stood face down, as they say, stood on business. You have stood on business every time I've seen you.
We're standing on boss over here. On boss.
So I appreciate that, and I'm sure a lot of other women appreciate the same, because you have a following that has, stood with you and still follow you. And you are giving, every time you get on that screen, you give us information that has been, beneficial for us in our businesses or our aspirations or whatever it is that we have going. You have given us that, and we appreciate it. 100%.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for coming to our show today.
Thank you.
Minor Solutions is so grateful for you guys to stop by and join in on this. And again, the Lady Print Boss herself.
And if you guys want to reach out to me, you can find me at ladyprintboss.com, and I am all across social media at Lady Print Boss.
All right. We're out of here. We're going to catch some flights back to the
Bye,
DFW.
y'all.
Bye, y'all. Okay.